I'm at desk at KNBC TV in Los Angeles. Well, doesn't even have to imagine because she hit it big. That's right, $266 million to be exact. She was working the overnight shift when she found out that she was the lucky one. She finished her shift. She asked her coworkers to keep her name secret until she is ready to step forward. $266 million. Well, I've got one, two.
That's a start.
Three.
That's a start anyway.
$266 million.
Well, now.
I've just been robbed. What's the number for 911?
You need to be better with money management.
Wow, I needed to call Rob Wilson. Where is he when we need him?
He's here. Rob, people have a hard time holding on to their money these days.
They absolutely do, especially Rick, huh?
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Imagine what it was like if he went, oh, there, I got it back.
So $266 million. I mean, we'd like to dream of that. And we do like to think sometimes, for those of us who never win, there's got to be a lot of problems, though, that come with winning that much money, right? Would it just be too much of a headache to even deal with it?
Well, it's a headache that I'd like to have. I'm sure there's enough aspirin out there for me to take care of that. But you guys know I work mostly with professional athletes, but I actually do have a client that won the Mega Millions game in Ohio a couple of years ago. And in a lot of ways, those situations are very similar. I mean, in each case, you kind of go from a ramen noodle lifestyle to a filet mignon lifestyle really overnight, and that can come as a shock and be very challenging to deal with if you haven't, if you're not used to having those types of resources.
Now, here's the other thing. I mean, let's think back. It was December, 2002. Jack Whitaker hit Powerball, $315 million, one of the largest ever. And yet, since that time, he has had family members overdose on drugs.
He's one of the many.
He has had death. He has had issues with prostitution and public drunkenness and all sorts of issues. And you can document time after time after time that huge sums of money come into your life, and then it all goes downhill very quickly.
Yeah, it's very tough. And if anyone ever has a question of why I got into this business, I mean, here are some statistics that really tell you that. 30% of lottery winners go bankrupt within 5 years of the win. 60% of NBA players are bankrupt or in financial trouble 5 years after they leave the league. And 78% of NFL players bankrupt or in financial trouble 2 years after leaving the professional sport. So, I mean, there's a huge need. And let's not forget that there are windfalls for the rest of us. We may not all sign multi-million-dollar contracts, but there's inheritance from your family, insurance or legal settlements, bonus from your job. Tax refunds are a big windfall. You may sell a business, cash in stocks options. We all have some sort of windfall that may happen, so we need to think about how to deal with those as well.
So what can we do? How can we prepare ourselves for the money that could come pouring in at any moment?
Well, you want to avoid a couple of mistakes, and the first one obviously is exactly what you think is overspending. But it's not just spending too much money, it's spending too much for the things that you do buy. So if you're in the news for just winning the lottery or signing a big contract and you walk into a car dealership, do you think that car dealer is going to negotiate with you? Probably not. So you don't want to overpay. You don't want to get into an unsustainable lifestyle. You may be able to buy a big house, but don't forget that those taxes, utilities, insurance, those things never stop. So you've got to be able to pay those into the future. Ignoring taxes, sometimes the lottery doesn't take out enough. You have to handle that after the fact. You may be in a higher tax bracket than you're used to. And obviously a lack of planning, like you said, with more money comes more problems. And so it's something that you really need to think about. Estate planning, taxes, all of those sorts of things.
And sometimes I guess maybe you can start with small things. I mean, if you get a tax refund of $1,500, don't just go out and buy a new camera, a new computer that you wanted. Perhaps take a portion of that and put it away and save it for a rainy day. Good idea, bad idea?
Certainly. I think when you get this types of windfall, the first thing you want to do is just sit back and take a breath. Take 30 days and figure out what you want to do with it. Seek professional advice. Notice I said professional. Everybody's going to have an idea of what to do with the money. Tell them you want a written proposal if anybody wants any money from you. Put money away for your future education and retirement. And last but not least, once you've done all the right things, you got to have a little bit of fun with the money.
All right, Rob, thanks for coming by. We appreciate it. Thanks for the advice.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us. Another check of our top stories coming up for you in just a little bit, including a check of the Pens game tonight. Getting all set for that. Stay with us. We'll be right back.